Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Lauren Reed, right here on Water Ice Radio. And today we have a very special show. Y'all see the setup is a little different today because we have a lot of people here, but a lot of great people here. I'm excited. I actually got an opportunity, I think it was almost 2 years ago. Almost 2 years ago.
The premiere. Right?
Yes, the premiere. Yep. Mm-hmm. It was definitely one of my first red carpet events that I actually got to host. I met Yakisha through a cast member, actually, who is on the show. And he said, we wanted you to come out and do the live red carpet for this new reality show that's coming out called The Real Lives of Philadelphia. And I'm like, word? We got a reality show? I didn't know that was going down. So we came. It was at Temple University at the movie theater there. Great turnout. So we're glad to finally actually have you on the show to talk to you about the show.
Thank you so much.
So without further ado, everybody, this is Yakisha Walker, the creator of the Real Lives of Philadelphia reality show, and she is accompanied by George Williams, who is the director, and two of her cast members as well, Ani and Lenore. So everybody, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Happy to have you
Thank
here.
You.
So, Keisha, let's talk about this whirlwind that you have going on. Season 1 was a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
It was tough.
It was tough.
It was tough.
But let's, take it back a little bit. How did you actually start getting into this game of producing, creating, and getting into reality TV?
I'm going to say back in 2012, I came up with the idea.
Okay.
I was going to do like a housewife thing, but I didn't know a lot of people that was married at the time. So I was like, all right, let me do something totally different. Let me do just real stuff. Like, because the shows I see on TV are created to be fake, some real, some fake, but they create their own show.
Okay.
So I was like, I want to do something different. I want everything real. I want it raw. I want everybody to be who they are, be yourself. And my girlfriends came. I had about 5 people. And I was like, let's start this. Like, you serious? You want to do it? I was like, yeah. People started hearing about it. It just blew up out there. I was like, oh man, all I did was say I wanted to start a show, and it was all over. It was like, Philly got a show.
That's all it takes.
So,
sometimes.
and people didn't think like what was going to come out of this, because I had no idea. I had no experience in it. I just was like, I believe I could pull this off. Okay. So once it kept going, I was just like step by step. But every time I step by step, I went back like 17 times.
That happens a lot in the process.
So I was just like, all right, it's hard work. It's very hard work, and nothing happens overnight. So I was just like, all right, I did it 2013, 14. I think 14 after I had like a big show, like on Germantown Avenue, it's like 250 people, and the capacity was 150. So I kind of like went way over. People was outside because they still wanted to see it and hear about it. They was like, yo, that was crazy. You gotta come on. I got so scared. I was just like, all right, what's the next step? I didn't even know where to go after that.
Wow.
So I was just like, let me take a break.
So did you ever want to be a part of the cast?
Yeah.
You did.
I was like a part of it, but I didn't know how I can come in. I couldn't juggle being a creator and being a cast member at the same time, because I seen things in the inside that I didn't want, but if I was on the outside, I would see it. But being on the inside, I had no control, because it was like other people was doing what they wanted to do, and I was just like, nah, that's not how I want it done.
So you touched on something. You said a lot of reality TV is, they say it's fake, it's scripted, right?
Yeah.
So how do you manage people thinking like, oh, that was scripted versus it actually being real? How do you keep your content raw and real?
You can actually tell, because these cast members let you have it. So nothing is going to come that genuinely off of someone and be like, all right, well, oh, that's fake, that's corny. They just as real as they can be.
Right.
I don't stop anything. I might add something in, but it's just an ad. But it's nothing that you got to write down. They got to study anything to say, this is what you're going to say to this person. It's not like that.
So to the cast members, whoever want to take it, Yanni or Lenore, how do you keep it real and fresh, when the cameras are coming to you and saying, do you want to add some stuff or do you want to take stuff back? Like, how do you balance it all?
I don't hold anything back.
Definitely don't. 0 to 100.
Yeah, I don't hold anything back. Whatever's going on in my life, I tend to just let it out. Like, I don't hide anything. I think that by that, we're going to draw in people that can be more relatable. And I'm not scared to share my life. Struggles or whatever, whether it be good or bad. I'm just whatever. When the camera's on, whatever's happening is going to be on the camera.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Your storyline on the show. Talk a little bit about you and what people can look forward to seeing.
Well, First, I am an author. I'm a writer. I write books. I have one book out that I wrote like 6 years ago, but my main book is called Never Uttered a Word Till Now. Okay. It's a novel based around true facts about my life. I have not released it yet. But on the show, I am also on probation for 10 years. I'm a felon, a 2-time felon.
Okay.
So, like I said, the good and the bad. You're going to get the good and the bad with me.
So that's a lot of personal stuff in your life. A lot of people don't want to speak about, some possible, criminal activity that they've done or negative things they've done in their life, because a lot of people don't forgive that at times, right?
Exactly.
So why did you think this was a good opportunity and a platform to kind of show from where you were to where you are now?
Because it's everyday life. I think a lot of people go through what I go through or what I went through. Not just being a felon, but how hard life is after you become a felon.
Right.
And everything you have to go through to get back to where you were, or, just to get back up. So I think that people need to hear this, and they need to know that is ways around it.
Okay.
Like, you don't have to just be like, oh, I'm a felon, I just gotta be a felon. Like, no, it don't work like that.
So, Tatiana,
yes.
Who is your, I hate saying character, I don't want to, who are you? That's better than to say, who are you?
Right.
And how did you get to be a part of the cast?
So, I became part of the cast by accident. I didn't even really, I never wanted to be on TV. I didn't really know. And this guy was like, you have the perfect personality, go tell your story. And I went to the casting call, and they liked me. I was just like, okay.
So talk a little bit about your story.
So I battle mental illness.
Okay.
So that's basically what the basis of my storyline is, and overcoming it and being young and black with mental illness and how it's not talked about in the community, and dealing with a traumatic childhood. And that basically is what, made me kind of have mental illness in a way, even though it's genetic too.
Yep.
But that's basically my storyline, and me basically overcoming it, becoming a better person, growing, and actually dealing with it in a way where you wouldn't even know.
So I have to commend both of you ladies, because both of you have different stories, but very the same. That is so personal that who would want anybody to kind of see that piece of your life? So for you to want people to look from the outside to look in, and you to be so raw and authentic with it, I definitely have to commend you. So we'll get a little bit back to your storylines, but I want to talk about how you met your director and how that came apart, and how your vision for the show came once you met George.
So I'm gonna say it was 2016. We was doing a radio podcast, and they picked me to be one of the co-hosts. And I came on, I think they heard about me doing the show. I told them 2 years ago I started this show, and it went here. And one day he came right here, he's like, listen, if you don't start that show back up, you're gonna be mad if somebody else do it.
Does it, yeah.
I was like, dang, are you serious? So I looked at him as you know what, he got everything under control. He's doing a podcast, he's running it basically. He has his own business. He's been directing his own business. And it was like, okay, neither one of us got experience, but who's going to pay us any mind?
Right.
Who's going to say, oh, you ain't no director, or you ain't no producer, you ain't no executive, you ain't no creator, but I created something.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to use them titles as much as I can. So I asked him, and he was like, all right, so what do I say? Listen, after he talked to me, it was 2 days later, I think, or a day later, I was like, you want to come on and be my producer and director? I didn't know what kind of experience this man had. I just know you had a business.
Right.
If you have a business, you're directing it.
Right.
And you're producing everything in there for your business to make sure it's prosperous and it's ran right? He was like, all right, we'll meet. I'll see. So we met at Dave & Buster's. He was like, yo, this is crazy. I said, all we got to do is do a casting call. Right. It's not that, I always say it's not that deep. Listen. He sent me there listen, it is that deep. I'm like, it ain't that deep. You just got to do a casting call, because I'm looking at the fast way out.
Right.
Make a casting call, do a flyer, post it, they going to come. He was like, no.
We're going to do it.
This is what you got to do.
Right.
I was like, all right. We had to go step by step to make sure we do everything right. And then he decided that he wanted to come on board. He wanted to see how it was. So once we started that in 2016, September of 2016, then when the beginning of 17 came, we just made history and been making history ever since.
So George, let's talk a little bit about you and your, because she just said a whole lot about what you do. So, so you were doing podcasting, directing, producing. Right. So tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got up to this point.
Well, far as the show, she told me about the show and everything, and for me, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna jump all the way in it. So when I saw the show and everything, she showed me, some of the pictures and everything, and I was like, well, again, like she stated, I felt like if we didn't do this show, that someone will do it, and we'll be sitting back, feeling some type of way. So when she told me about it and everything, I thought about it. So I think it's a dope concept. Let's go ahead, let's put it together. And so, I did some directing before, like with like plays and stuff like that, but never like a reality show. So I basically told her, yeah, I could do it. I didn't know, had no idea
what you were getting yourself into.
That's one thing, So, the day that we, I think our first film, we was filming up at King of Prussia, and I was nervous, but sometimes you're nervous, but you just know you can do it, So that's what happened.
But he never says it, and you could never tell that he's nervous. I'm like, yeah, right. He was up there doing your thing.
Yeah.
So how different is this from doing things like plays and from stage plays and now doing like television? How different is it in producing? Yeah.
Well, basically, like Lenora stated, it's a play is basically we're acting, like the script, and they're going over things. But the reality show is it's really their lives. And I tell people all the time. Somebody asked me, said, where's the show going? I tell them all the time, I don't know. But what I do know is, when something happens, what direction you need to go with. They all, this is their real lives. And I felt like, as far as Philadelphia, I can't fool Philly. We can't fool Philly. So it's like, we had to be authentic. And so, they come and tell me about situations that they think is bad. And I don't say nothing. I say, oh, this is good. This is good juice for the show. So it's like, basically, I just sit back and, now what I will do is, and I'll be honest, there's times when like one girl had a problem with another girl and another girl had another problem with another girl. I just kept them away from each other.
Okay.
Right?
That's a really...
right. Hey, what you doing? Come down such and such. We having something. Right? And then when the other girl, I say, did you know such and such was here? Yeah, well, I know you want to address what happened. And then before you know it, you want to address what happened. So I didn't make that up, but I made sure that they stayed away from each other. So when they come to each other and start talking, the feelings is real, the conversation is real. It's times when we film it and they've cried and everything. And it was authentic. It was just always real.
So you kind of lead me to my next question, where sometimes reality shows get a bad rap for exploitation per se, putting these people out there in situations like, because one might hear that and say, yo, George set them up. George set them up to come into a particular place and hopefully hash out a beef or it to fuel the fire. So how do you, when you are shooting these scenes, kind of not get into that realm of exploitation? Well, have you had people say, no, I don't want to film that kind of thing?
Yeah, plenty of times. And, for me, I'll talk you into it. I'll figure it out.
He definitely will.
Because a lot of times when he's like, I don't want to talk about this, or I don't want to do this. And, it's like, look, like, you, in order to go forward, you got to talk about it, Like, I remember one time we had I think it was Lenora fighting down Penn's Landing.
She like, why are you bringing that up right now?
And,
but we don't let it go that far. It was real.
But it was just her confronting a situation, and I didn't set that up. The thing is, to me, this is just life. Think about it. Everybody go through something in life. We're just filming it.
Yeah. I just feel like if you call us and you have a situation or issue with somebody, okay, that means I always ask, you mind talking about it when we start filming? No, I don't mind. So that means you're going to say something to her and you want to ask her a question of why she did what or said what. Okay, you get there, you ask. Of course there's going to be an argument because you're coming to her for something that she did, and she's not going to hold back on what she did. She's going to be upfront and honest. Gotcha. But you have to be able to accept that. You can't just go around and say, oh yeah, it was a setup. They can never say it's a setup, because if I ask you when you go on set, you mind talking to her about it, hashed out, boom, okay. I might go to Lenora and say, like I did that night, I said, Lenora, such and such want to talk to you about something, and boom, okay.
Something that you want to
and then explore. When you get there, you get that juice for the show, and that's all you're going to get. I'm not going to allow them to fight.
Okay.
I'm not going to allow them to put their hands on each other. I'm not going to
Okay.
allow you to throw nothing because guess what? You will be discontinued.
Oh, well, that's a great point. You just got like, so you see on a lot of reality
Yeah.
shows where there are physical
Yeah.
altercations, so you don't allow that on your show.
No,
we don't.
you could go as far as arguing, getting up in somebody's face, arguing, but we will have people there to make sure that the friction be separated because we don't allow that.
And if it does get to that point, you will, so
Oh,
they
yeah.
cannot be a part of your cast
Oh, yeah.
anymore.
And also, just to piggyback off it, we make sure like we don't just want to show. We want to show, okay, the city of brotherly love. We want to show that we might fight, right? But at the end of the day, we can still come into agreement and make them like that day that they had a situation at Penn's Landing. By the end of us shooting, they made up and they were cool. So that's our whole thing. It's not about just violence and everything. It's to show that we are the city of brotherly love, and we might argue, we might fight, but at the end of the day, we can all come together and still be cool with each other.
Exactly.
So, ladies, what are some things that are kind of like no-goes for you as far as shooting? Do you have anything?
I don't.
You don't?
I'm an open book. I have no filter. Just ask me anything.
She really don't.
Ask me
They're like,
anything.
no.
No
What's the saying you said the last time you filmed? I'm gonna know what I want to know and think what I want to think. Okay.
That's basically how I am.
You
But
never
I
know
don't
what's coming out
have
of her mouth.
No, if they come to me and they want something from me, I just give it to them.
Okay.
Because it might be something out their life that we probably haven't even touched on.
Okay.
Like as far as Honora's probation, she didn't really talk a lot about it, but we know what's going on. So with this season, you'll see more of her checking in the probation office, going down there, staying in that long line, getting searched. That's a headache.
Okay.
For somebody that know it's thousands of people up here in Philly that got to go through that. But how many females can actually talk and want to say, I can relate to what she's going through?
Right.
I know
And
exactly
not
what she's
really
going through.
Not just really. It gets deeper than that though. Just from checking in and being on probation. Like if I was to ever do anything while I'm on probation, I'm looking at 7 to 14 years.
And you probably had to get permission to do this show, correct?
No, not really.
Really? Okay.
Because I don't have a violent offense.
Okay.
But because of the type of felon that they gave me and where I got the case at, they put it up there with felon 2 or whatever.
Okay.
Really shouldn't be there, but
Okay.
It's there, right?
it's where I caught the case at.
Okay, understood. So we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
When we come back, I want to get into more of what we're going to see in season 2 because I've seen
Okay.
some of your trailers.
Okay.
And from what I've seen, there's no gentleman here right now on the cast, but it seems like the gentlemen have more drama this season.
Oh, yeah. They got some.
Than
They got
than
some
the girls
crazy.
do. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
They
sometimes
fitting
I-
into the category too.
Yeah. Guys swear they don't have no drama.
Yeah.
Or they always got a
Yeah.
little bit of something. So they're absent right now, but I want you to talk a little bit about
Okay.
the guys that you have on the cast
Okay.
and what they're bringing to the show as
Okay.
well.
Gotcha.
All right, everybody, it's your girl Lauren Reed right here on Water Ice Radio, the Lauren Reed Live Show with the cast of The Real Lives of Philadelphia. Please do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we are back, everybody. It's your girl Lauren Reed right here on Water Ice Radio, the Lauren Reed Live Show. Today's guest is the cast, the producer, and the creator of The Real Lives of Philadelphia. Again, thank you everybody for coming to the show.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us. Again.
So before the break, we were talking about the gentlemen that are on the cast.
Yeah.
And I've seen some trailers and how, it's kind of stirring the pot with the guys. I've seen a
Yeah.
couple basketball
They got
court
some-
scenes
they got
that,
some heat with them
on there.
too. Yeah.
So talk a little bit about the gentlemen that are actually on your cast before we get into
Okay.
some of the stuff they got going on this season.
So you have Tommy. I'll start with him because he's like the longest. He's married actually, and he brought another woman into his relationship.
Okay.
Things didn't work out. Okay.
Like
You'll see
openly?
it. Yeah.
That was season 1 too,
yeah,
right? Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So the main thing is a lot of things happen with that
Okay.
incident, and you'll see that on season 2, part
Okay.
of season 2.
Basically, the grass is not green
On the other side.
yeah,
That's what
having
it is.
2 women is not as
Right.
easy
Yeah.
as you think it is.
Terrible.
Elizabeth.
No,
Hear
not
that,
at all.
fellas? Not that simple.
And Gotti is, I'm gonna say Gotti is mysterious to me. That's the only one word I can just say what he is. Because
God, he
he's
doesn't
just-
care. He doesn't care
He
about
don't
nothing.
care.
He doesn't.
No.
He don't care. He could pick an
Whatever.
argument with you and don't even know you.
Okay.
And it'd just be something like he just pinpoint. But he's been doing a lot of digging,
Okay.
trying to fish for other people, girls through DMs, and it gets him in trouble.
I can Gotcha.
it gets him in
I
trouble.
think he might be the one that poked the bear with Serge.
Oh yeah,
right?
he definitely
Yeah.
did.
All right, so
Definitely
okay.
did. So I was like, oh, he over here thinking he golden ball. He was like, what? You don't know nothing about
Yeah,
Serge
I
got
think I saw
right
it.
with him.
I saw that.
He
I
got
saw
right
that.
with him, didn't he?
Darn
I
it.
said, that's a different side of Serge I ain't never
Right.
seen before. You can't piss him off.
Shout out to Sergio Crew. He's been on the
Yes.
show before.
Yes.
He's on
So
the cast
he's
as well.
on the cast as well, doing some dope journalist things of missing people. I think that's an excellent thing that he's actually doing. And
Yeah.
I commend him for that. I'm like, yo, because people need to know about them things.
Absolutely.
So he's, found new love.
Okay.
Happy for him. That should be appearing on season 2 as well.
Okay.
And probably a little bit more than what you see so far. That we have.
Nice. So, what do you think the difference between season 1 and season 2 is?
With season 1, I'm gonna say the difference is like it gets more real on
Okay.
season 2.
Okay.
Season 1 was like a tryout season for us. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what was going to be said. We didn't know who was going to do what. But we got more in depth. And I think with the cast realized that they know what we wanted from them. Oh, we gonna come here, we gonna bring it. And I think the only thing the producer says is when he talks to them and prep them for each scene or whenever we film, bring it. Y'all gotta bring it because these people not playing. From there forward, we get it. They
Right.
get it. We don't never have a problem with certain people. But I think with season 2, it gets more real and it gets more deeper than what season 1 was.
So, George, the only real reality show that I kind of remember really being in Philly was The Real World when that was
Yeah, I
years
remember that.
ago.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's time for a big network to pick up another reality show in Philadelphia per se? Like, why is it our time to have that kind of going on here in the city?
I think because we're so transparent.
Okay.
Like I think we. I mean, you look at. I look at New York. I look at Atlanta. I look at Miami, and I just feel like Philadelphia. We just so real, and just like I was saying before, I can't. I can't fool. We can't fool the viewers, and I just think like even with season 2, we talking about. To me, you're going to see like personal things like who they really are, like far as okay, you might hear them fighting and all that, but you get to see that they're real people dealing with real situations. Just like Tatiana, when I first met her, she told me about her situation with the bipolar or whatever. I would never thought that, but then as we was just watching her journey, she was telling how she's really opened up, things are changing. Lenora, and then even some of the guys like Serge, for instance, he's the good guy. He's the guy that, but then you don't get to see how he's on the basketball court, how he was like, you don't really know me, man. So it's just like, you're just going to see up and close and personal of, get to follow these people's lives and realize that, this is the real lives of Philadelphia. Like, it's just not a show,
And it's pretty much a teachable moment for everybody, just worldwide, period.
Gotcha.
A lot of people that's going through a lot of things that they're going through, even if you're trying to make it out here and you're trying to build a brand for yourself, people get to see what you go through behind the scenes with without the glitz and glamour, because that's not what we're here for. We're here to tell a story.
Right.
This is the real lives of Philadelphia. And when we get real, we get down and dirty real. We tell it all. So people that don't have a voice can actually listen and say, I've been through this. I gotta watch this. This is what it is. And so many inboxes I get a day. When is it airing? When is this? When is I'm like, oh man, I don't even know what to tell them. But
Right.
just keep putting up things to inspire people. Plus, people can be inspired by it. They'll be like, wow, I went to jail. I did this. I'm trying to do this. Oh, I know I got a friend that do this. So each one teach one. You pull a friend and tell them, oh, turn to this channel.
Right.
You might could learn something from them. And that's one thing we got out the premiere in 2017 was you can actually learn something from these cast members.
Yep.
Every grown person I couldn't believe it. I was like, huh? It's like, they better watch it. They could learn something from it. Even
Right.
some of the cast members that's on here can learn something from it. But, it is what it is.
So, ladies, some people use their reality TV to catapult their career in something. I know, Lenore, you said you are an author. Is there something that you're looking to get out of being a part of the cast, or again, is this just something that you want people to see, the profile or the blueprint of your life, and if there's something else comes up from it, then
Well, with me, yes. Before I got on the show, this was definitely my career path. You know, I'm into acting. And hopefully one day I can produce some movies and stuff like that.
Okay.
So yes, this is a podium for me. This is a platform that I'm going to use in the future.
Great. Yeah.
For me, honestly, I think I use the show the most to learn more about myself and to be a better person and to understand how I am, because my mind is so twisted. Like, not in a bad way where I'm a serial killer, but it's so much emotion and like stuff I don't understand about being me and being 25 and not knowing who I am at this moment. I think I really use the show more for growth within myself.
So not to give too much away, because we want people to watch the show, of course, but you talked about struggling with mental illness and struggling with bipolarism. So when were you not self-diagnosed, but when were you diagnosed with having bipolar?
I believe it was 2014.
Okay, so not too long ago.
It's schizophrenic, bipolar, and severe anxiety. I think the worst is the anxiety.
Okay.
And that is what triggers the schizophrenic, bipolar.
Okay. So when you kind of, what happened leading up to, if you don't mind telling us a little bit about it, what led up to you kind of getting that diagnosis of what was going on in your life at that time?
So it's not like one event or it happened recently, but I had 3 brothers, and all 3 of them were killed.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
So yeah, thank you. But that's kind of like, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I was young. It happened probably before I was 12, 13.
Wow, okay.
So I didn't really know how to deal with it. I didn't really have any emotion. I didn't really cry much. And I think like I got to the point in my life where I realized like they weren't around, because before I don't know, I didn't really pay no attention.
Why do you think it's such a stigma in the Black community for us not to really talk about mental health issues?
For the most part, I don't think we want to admit it. We don't want to admit being crazy or, what they call us crazy, and we don't want to be what we're portrayed as.
Okay.
And I mean, I understand that, but I live in my truth, and I mean, I know I be tripping sometimes. I already know. I wake up the next morning like, damn, I was tripping.
Has the show actually helped you kind of like self-medicate?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially being around them.
Okay.
Yeah.
One day she came to us, we was at the table, she was like, we went out for a meet, and I think she was like, yeah, so she just pops out and say anything. She was like, yeah, so my therapist said I'm doing good because I got friends. Like, everybody here is her friends.
Right.
All the cast members are her friends. So it's like she had friends before, but that disconnect led to a lot of things that trouble her life as well. So y'all see that, doing the show too.
Okay.
You can have friends. The same thing with me. I had friends when I started this show.
Right.
Once I started rising, everybody just started fading away. Was like, I don't know why. And then when they see your growth and where you're at, they want to start trying to crawl back, but you can't do that with me. And the same thing, I had to actually have a one-on-one with her and talk to her about her girlfriends who was gone for so many years, and they came back into her life. She started climbing a rope. Everybody want to be a Tatiana now.
Right.
And then they want to come back. I said, you got to let that go, because that's another trigger for you.
Yeah.
And she know that. Like, it's not hard to tell. Tatiana, listen, you say one thing to her, she's going to do it.
Right.
But you mess with her, okay, I'm not going to say no more. But you mess with her, it's going to be a problem.
So for you, Keisha and George, either one of you can answer this question. You haven't been picked up by a major network yet, right? So how do you keep pushing when you're facing adversity of maybe getting those no's or those doors closed on you when you're going through this process and you know that you have something great?
You know what's funny about that question is because we haven't even got to know.
Okay.
Everybody coming to us. So I don't know. It's like they reaching out to us through somebody else or through social media. They're seeing like, oh, y'all want some help with this? I mean, these are big, major people.
Right.
Like millionaire people. And I'm just like, huh? Let him handle that. Like, I don't know what.
So then, George, you take that question and like, how does that kind of like motivate you to keep going? You have these people reaching out to you. You would think the first person that comes to you would say, yes, right? But what does that really look like?
Well, I think when you know your worth, when you believe in yourself, you believe in what you're doing, and being optimistic. I'm very optimistic. I don't really see nothing negative. I don't speak nothing negative. I don't think negative. Even when a situation is negative, I always find, whether it's a bad situation, what's the good in this, or what lesson I need to learn. So the reality is that I speak. I say this show is going to be this, and this show is going to be. So even when it is obstacles in front of us, I ignore that. I don't let that be my focus. My thing is, how do I fix this, or how do we get over this, or how are we going to figure this out? Because that's just how it is.
Cool. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to just talk about how you kind of balance it all out, right? Because you do have still your regular lives, your family lives. And when is it time to sometimes like, all right, I don't feel like filming today, George. Not today. I just need to kind of like balance it out. So we're going to talk a little bit about that work-life balance. Okay. All right, everybody. It's your girl, Lauren Reed, right here at Water Ice Radio. The cast of The Real Lives of Philadelphia is in the house. We'll be right back. Please do not go anywhere. All right, we are back, everybody, with this great conversation with the producer, director, and some of the cast of The Real Lives of Philadelphia right here on the Lauren Reed Live Show. Again, thank you guys for coming through. Y'all are really giving us the real.
Yes.
So I kind of wanted to talk about work-life balance because I know you all have your families, but this takes a lot of work.
It does.
Yes.
So starting with you, Keisha, like how do you balance it all? Because I saw your beautiful daughter with you on the red carpet the last time. She was so excited for you.
Always.
But how do you kind of sort of balance it out?
It's kind of even because of what my schedule.
Okay.
Is it hard? Yeah, because it's things that I want to do personally that I can't really do. I had to put some things on the back burner just to do and finish up the show. So it's like I still have a regular job.
Okay.
My hours are flexible.
Okay.
Even though I don't make up my own schedule, but I can tell my supervisor, like, can you put me on here? Don't put me on here.
Okay.
So then when you go home, even though I might go home late because it might be hours of filming on set just for a day, up to like 15 hours probably, 10 to 15 hours. And depending on what time we start, and by the time I go home, I still have to make sure I talk to my daughter.
Got you.
Like, how was school? Because I might have missed that. She might come home, bam, boom, what's this? But one thing I know is I do everything consistent. I cook before I do anything.
Okay.
Before I leave out, I got to eat as soon as I come home. I don't care what time it is. This time became like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I still have to eat. I make sure everything is in order. So what they say, OCD? That's like an OCD thing with me, but I do it. Once I set my mind frame to go out film, I'm like, all right, when I see the cast and I know what we about to do today, it's going to be a long night.
Right.
So I'll be prepared. Let me get my coffee from Wawa. Be like, George, stop at Wawa. Let me get some sugar, some donuts. And it's not easy. I can't say it's easy because it depends on the person that's doing it.
Okay.
If you haven't been in my shoes and you can't tell me nothing.
Gotcha.
I've been doing this since 2012. I don't want to hear nothing from nobody.
Gotcha.
Unless you did the same thing.
Anybody else? How do you balance it out? George?
Yeah, to be honest, she'll tell you I work through the night sometimes, like editing. So I think when you're passionate about something, it goes past sleep.
You kind of forget it.
Your adrenaline is going, especially if we working on something and it might take us a couple hours, but when you passionate to me, them hours fly by. Sometimes I look up, it's 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I gotta, even though I'm self-employed, but it's like I get about sometimes 2, 3 hours of sleep, but it's a lot. But I feel like in the end, it'll all be worth it.
Ladies, do you have times where you just like, not today? Not today.
I mean, I'm sure we all have, but I mean, like you said, when you're passionate about something, you just make it work. For me, my life is busy. My life is busy. They can call me on Tuesday and be like, I need you Wednesday. I'm there. If I have to go on my job and be like, I can't come today. Like, I just have to do what I have to do because even though we have work and we have those things, this is my priority.
Right. Good. What about you, Tatiana?
Same. I feel like, I make it work as much as I can. I have a set schedule, so they know my days off. That's just what it is. Other than that, I don't got no kids. I'm just there.
I have 5 children.
Wow.
Oh, see, when she said busy,
now that you
she
just
meant
said
busy.
that, you real busy. That's a different type of balance.
Right.
Wow. Do you ever have are your kids on the show, or do you just do it just with you?
No, they're not on the show right now. I mean, they probably will be in the future.
Definitely.
I had my kids young. So
Okay.
my kids, I have a 19-year-old in college,
Wow.
a 15-year-old, 14-year-old, and a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old.
You
So
would never notice
Can't
that.
tell, right?
Making sure you yeah, we want to be able to hear you.
It's a lot. It is a lot, but it's just balance. My kids, they support me too. Like they fall right into place. When I gotta do something, they just fall into place. You know,
That's
they do
what's
what they
up.
gotta do to make everything work at home, and they be like, "All right, mom, bye, see you later."
So George, what does the day? So let's just say that I wanted to be a part of the cast. I wanted to be on the show. I'm here now, right? What does that day to day look like for a person that you'll be shooting? What does that look like?
You said if. You,
So let's say I was a cast member.
Right,
What would
right.
that day to day look like of
Oh.
you shooting one person?
Well, basically, we always have a schedule.
Okay.
We always have like a time. It's according to what's going on, if we're going to shoot in the daytime or nighttime.
Okay.
Most time, if it's just like conversation, we pretty much do a day scene.
Okay.
If it's going to be some, kind of drama, we might want to do a night scene. It's basically we just look at just to see. What was the question? I'm sorry. I'm tired. What was the question? I got
Let
lost.
me edit this out now.
Like, on a day-to-day basis.
Like when you Tatiana, like if are you talking to her first about what she has going on, and
Right,
then you
yeah,
decide
exactly.
what
Like,
you're going to
It's
shoot?
basically right. Yeah, basically the situation determines the scene.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
think he
So-
always asks us as soon as he sees us.
He knows
what's going on.
Yeah.
What's
Like
on.
first
Yeah.
question.
Yeah,
He know to be
like-
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
I just call and
I
tell
think
him.
about I figure out, okay, how we going to approach it? Where should we film at? Who's going to be in it? Even sometimes we might want to bring somebody in. So it's basically we just sit down and me and Yakisha talk, and we take a real situation and we tweak it. We just
Got you.
So.
Got you. So, is anyone too boring to be a part of the cast?
No.
Okay.
It could not be too boring. I look at it like if you got something going on in your life and you want to get your story out here of how what you did, how you're doing it, and it consists on like if it's like just around your family, then that's how we'll film you. You don't necessarily have to be around a cast.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Unless it's like an event. Like we always we film at fashion shows, we film at events that we get invited to,
Okay.
and we pick the people who's going to make this scene crazy. Like we went out to Virginia. We got invited to, was it Fashion Week in
Okay.
Virginia? And we took these two with us, along with our assistant, and it was crazy. It was nice. They fit right in, and had they saying about the fashion show, how they felt they was front row VIP.
Right.
So being there, it was just like, okay, these two are crazy, because there's another cast member that hang with them as well, but she couldn't make it.
Okay.
So where's the drama at? Because she couldn't make it. Then you get them saying some things like, oh, she ain't here, she could have came,
right,
but sometimes that's just how it works.
Now, there's another side to that, because
I was about to
she'll
say,
tell you,
because we did
because
lose some
I've-
cast members
right,
for being
I've
boring.
had some people
Oh, yeah.
who came in and they told us a story,
It was
and then
like,
as we
wow.
started filming, they just got quiet. But and I would tell them, listen, we don't feel you. Like I don't like what's going on. You're not.
They came
Right.
in with the scripted life
Right,
stuff.
just
Yeah.
rolling
They made
and-
up a story.
And
Yeah,
then-
I think like during the interview time when we casted a certain amount of females,
Right.
and they told us their background, but the whole time for almost 2 years we're filming, and at one time did you give
Yeah.
us anything about your
Right.
life that you told us? I'm like, well, like what's up? So what I do is, even though we're business partners, I let him deal with that side, because he has to produce it and direct
Right.
it. I just see people for who they are and be like, okay, the storyline is great. What you think? And we both work together.
So, is it a surprise when you bring new cast members on, or do you let them know ahead of time?
You know what? All right, to be honest, I'm very close to these. Her, and Jazz.
Okay.
We're tight. So
Okay.
I think if George want to say, you know what, I think this person would be perfect for the show. We go in our group chat. I think that's what I was looking for. So they would know, but they won't know who it is.
Okay.
The guys won't know, and you know how guys are. As soon as they see a new girl, yo, who that?
Or a guy, or a guy per se.
So even if it's with a guy, we don't do a lot of spoilers sometimes.
Okay.
I might shock, like we, to be honest, we do have somebody we're interested in.
Okay.
There's going to be a shocker.
Okay.
Who he's thinking about putting with somebody, and yes, it's a guy, but nobody knows.
Like for
Guy
instance,
candy.
I'm about to
Like-
say, is he cute?
Right?
You just would never know. We can't spoil you everything for the cast.
Right.
We gotta surprise them because sometimes we want their feedback. Like,
You need that element of
Yeah.
surprise
Right.
for it to be
Right.
a real
Right.
interaction.
so it was like, how you feel about such and such, and they'll tell us like, well, I think he's cool. I don't like him. I feel like and you get the guys that's probably intimidated, like
Coming to take the shine a
Yeah.
little away.
yeah, but
and
it's,
stuff like
I mean
that.
that's just real life.
like
That's real.
for instance, with Surge, I know Surge is laid back, and to get a reaction out of him, I told him, come to the basketball court. We're having a basketball game, and they want to talk about some things he never knew. So when he got there, and he heard you was messing with, oh man, we supposed to be homies. It was real. It was authentic. Like it just came out of him. But I know if we'd have told him what was going on,
He wouldn't
it
have.
wouldn't have been the same thing.
Because
So
the key is when you have a story from one of your cast members, you don't tell another cast member because when they go on set, they're gonna know it's gonna spoil.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get that reaction
Right.
that you want on camera from them. So you keep everything seclusive and you be like, okay, you're filming tonight, Gotti, Tommy. We want you at the basketball court. Just meet us here at 8:00. Boom, that's
Gotcha.
it. They don't know what's going on, and whoever story it is, we might say, Gotti, go say something to such and such. Boom, and from there it
It
takes
goes
off.
wherever. Well, this is a lot.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the season 2 to come out. Send that to me exclusively.
Yes, definitely will.
So, last question for you, Keisha. Where do you see this going? Like, what is your vision board for the Real Lives of Philadelphia?
My whole vision is to get this across the worldwide to people that can relate and understand that these are real things that people really do go through. Like I said earlier, you might know somebody that knows somebody that's going through this. Like, listen, you can learn from this.
Right.
You can really take heed onto what these girls and guys are saying and doing what they like because I've been in this situation before.
Right.
And the key thing is with me is I always tell like, how did you come up with this concept? I said, well, when I pick people, I base it off of my life and my situation, the things that I went through. And I went through almost everything that they're going through in their life. So I had to put everything together and be like, wow, this is really crazy.
Right.
But my whole way of getting out of things is different than what their way. So I want the world to see how they get out of it. But this is ongoing. It's like nonstop. So I just wanted to be out here for a lot of people that can learn something from each and every last one of these cast members that we have.
So, if the audience wants to recap on what happened last season, where can they find that?
Oh, the Real Lives of Philadelphia.
Okay.
On Instagram, they can go
Okay.
through the clips.
Okay.
They can look through everything in there. Click any link in the bio. They'll be
Okay.
able to see it on YouTube.
Okay.
And just follow us on Instagram.
Okay,
The
so
Real
what's your
Lives of
Instagram
Philadelphia. The Real Lives of Philadelphia is just
Okay.
all straight.
Okay.
And my Instagram is Yakesha with the number 1. That's YAKEESHA and the number 1.
And any-
Facebook too. Don't forget.
And Facebook as
And
well. So
Facebook
we got a
as
page too that they can follow. The Real Lives of Philadelphia is on Facebook as well.
So, any upcoming casting that you have coming up?
Yeah, we're going to be doing casting soon. We're going to do a couple privately, and we're going to do a big one down at our production office, probably
Okay.
spring, summertime. Don't have a date yet because we're actually coming up with a Philly Fantastic Awards for this spring. It's going to be an all-white. It's not an all-white party, but it's like a day party.
Okay.
And we're going to be honoring some people, best podcast, best MUA in Philly.
Okay.
Everything going to be Philly-based.
Okay, nice. So, no date yet for season 2,
Not
but
yet.
that's coming soon.
Yes.
When you find that out, let us know so we
Yes.
can put something out for you. Again, thank you for coming to the show.
You're
we
welcome.
really, really appreciate it. I'm finally glad to be able to get
Yes.
you in the seat.
Thanks for having
Especially
me.
for Women's History Month. You're out here, you
Yes.
doing
Yes.
things. So I really do appreciate
How you feel, George?
God, you probably got the yes thing down by now. 2 seasons of it, right? I'm sure. But again, thank you for coming out to
You're
the
welcome.
show.
Thank you for having
Make
us.
sure you guys are following the Real Lives of Philadelphia. And this is the Lauren Real Live Show. We're going to wrap it up. And remember, not all superheroes wear capes, but sometimes they wear headphones.
Yeah.
Peace.
All right.
Yeah.
See
All
y'all.
right.
Bye.